these demands?
Primarily, funding is crucial in things like this. Somebody will have to pay for education. That is a clear thing. Somebody will have to build the schools even before you bring in lecturers and students. But you have seen a situation where government have want to put students and lecturers first without building the schools. There is nowhere in the world where you charge fees before you build schools. You know, there are a lot of schools that are still operating in temporary sites.
Yes.
Ogun State University, Imo State University, and some of these schools have stayed up to 30 years. If you look at the quantum of money Lagos State is spending on other infrastructural development, you will discover that the attention they have given to education, to LASU, is definitely not the attention Awolowo gave to University of Ife.
I'm going to come back to you on this whole autonomy talk because I'm very interested in that, but I want to find out from you now, how much of an issue is it for students today to pay fees? Because I say this because you find out in countries where we like to run to for quality education, education is not cheap. When that becomes an issue, is it a problem for the student union and all of that? Because, I mean, you are the ones who always defend the students and basically fight for their rights. Why are you not open to like sort of autonomy and paying like more fees to fund the schools better?
Actually, the issue of fees has been something that has been taking place for a very long time, and we have been trying our best to curb it, but unfortunately, we've not been able to do anything to it. Using my own school as a case study, Lagos State University. We know some time ago something happened in Lagos State University. There was a fee increment from 25,000 naira to between 193,000 to 350,000. Yes. Then we were on strike. We did so many things to curb these excesses of the state government, but there was actually nothing we could do after we closed the school down for some few weeks. So the state government has just been imposing fees on us. They are saying that they are increasing these fees so that things will be better in LASU, so that they can increase the infrastructure. But since they've been doing this, how far and how well? Initially, during the Jakonde period, they were paying 250 naira. Then the state government came in and said they should start paying 25,000 naira. They started paying 25,000 naira. Then the state government were saying that they should pay 25,000 naira so that they can increase infrastructure in the school and better learning environment for the students. But is there any better learning environment since then? When I got into LASU, I was paying 25,000 naira, and we have just 14 structures in the whole school. 14-story building structures, no massive structures and all that. The roads were bad, the learning condition was poor and all that. Okay, I was in 300 level when the state government came back again. They wanted to increase the fees from 25,000 naira to a whooping sum of 193,000 naira, which was the cheapest, to 350,000 naira, with the same claims of wanting to increase the infrastructure, but how far and how well?
Let me come in there. You see, it's so easy when you talk about fees. What is the quantum of fees is the average Nigerian child going to pay if that fees is going to cover the salaries of workers in the university, health center, is going to cover infrastructure in the university? You understand? That fee is going to be huge. The point people are making is that have the government moved from the paltry 8%, 5% budget for education to say 20%, and the amount is not enough? It was not fees that people paid that you built Unilag, you built IFE, you built ABU. They didn't pay fees. So why do you want people to pay fees for you to put infrastructure in universities?
Yeah, but the government's argument now
there's another angle to it. If you top the budget of education, you will be able to have a quantum of fund for students' loan, as is done everywhere in the world. If you have admission in Britain, for Christ's sake, you have a loan from the government, and anytime you're working, you pay gradually. But this is a government that knows that there is not going to be job for anybody. This is a government that knows that they set the money aside. They are going to embezzle it and nothing will happen. Let the government do what is right properly before you now say that, look, even if you are indigent and you are given admission, we are going to we have set aside so much money and we will use it. The federal government had an MOU. He said, we are going to set aside 100 billion naira, and that this money will be topped for the next 4 years, and we'll have 400 billion. And once you do this, no Nigerian child will be afraid How many oil blocks does it take to turn education around in Nigeria?
So who is opposed
But this is
to
oil
autonomy?
blocks they give to their friends.
Who is opposed to autonomy in Nigeria? Is it
It is
ASUU
clearly the
or
government. It is clearly the government. Chapter 4 of the agreement is entitled Universities, Autonomies and Academic Freedom. So why can't government implement something that is as simple as that? That chapter, there's also provision for change of laws, harmonizing the law of JAMB and the admission laws of the university so that it's harmonized and you don't begin to make students do JAMB and do post-UME and doing the same exam all over and over. There are sessions that say that, look, if NUC is infringing on the autonomy of university, let us harmonize the law so that what NUC is doing will be well spelled out from what the universities should do.
But if universities become autonomous, aren't they going to have to charge fees eventually when they become autonomous?
All over the world, universities are autonomous. I will tell you one thing. The owner of a university is not called the CEO. It's not called the manager. It's called the visitor. That is, you only visit the university and go away. That's the owner. Even when it's owned by the church. University autonomy does not mean that you should free your hand from funding it. The government still fund Oxford, Cambridge. They see them as institutions. They still give them quantum of funds for research. They still give them, let me put it this way. The Nigerian government wants to build maybe a stadium. Instead of calling ABU and say, ABU, come and give us the design and the engineering backing, they rather go and give it to their friends. And these are part of the things in the agreement. How university could be funded through services, bilateral relationship with companies and government in some of these areas. But government doesn't seem to be interested.
Now, I want to, I'm sure you have colleagues in private universities and all of these new universities that pay a lot of fees. Do you think the quality of education there is any better than where you are? And is it because of how much they pay?
The quality of education in other private schools compared to state schools and federal schools like we are in is not the same. It's not the same at all, because if you are saying that we are paying the same amount these students in private universities are paying, then I think we should be able to have what they have there. They have structures, they have lecturers who are willing to teach them very well. But unlike here in the state schools, where the state government and the federal government are not even funding the lecturers to help them, it's causing brain drain. Most of our lecturers are leaving state universities and going to private universities. Not even private universities, they are leaving the countries to other countries where the universities or the government there can pay them what they actually worth. So the price we are paying for our fees is nothing compared to the quality of education we have in Nigeria.
From what he said about student loans and all of that, I know it's not going to happen today or tomorrow, but if that sort of an option comes where they say, okay, school fees is now 500,000 naira, but government is going to give you loans and you pay it over the next 20 years. Is this something that you guys are open to?
Yes.
Or you still want things as cheap? I mean, I went to a federal university and I know I paid 250 naira as well or something along those lines. It got a little higher as I left, but would you be open to this sort of an arrangement if it comes to that?
If we get there, we'll think about it. But I think it should be a welcome development, because if you are saying that you can pay for some certain period of time and they are giving you a loan, it's better for parents. It's still affordable for parents, instead of just telling students to pay so amount of money. At Lagos State University, when they increased the school fees, the state government were telling us that they will give the indigent students their school fees back in terms of bursary. But how much are they paying them back? They are not paying them up to the amount of school fees they are paying. And even students who are not indigent, what is their fate? Are we now saying that these students who cannot afford this payment should not go to school? Are you now saying that they should go and learn trade or what? Then where is the future of Nigeria? Where is the future of Lagos State? What do you expect Nigeria to turn into when the education system, which is supposed to be the grassroots and the main core of any economy, is being disrupted? What do you expect students to do?
Well, we're going to go on a very quick break now. When we come back, I'm going to find out from the doctor what he thinks about this whole proliferation of universities. The federal government has said they're going to open up at least 6 or 9 more universities. How does that affect the situation? We'll be right back after this.
Your bathroom to dazzle? Give your toilet the Hypo treatment for only 10 naira to brighten and also kill germs, so your bathroom stays disinfected and squeaky clean.
Hypo, go Hypo.
From one nation to another, there must be a meeting point. Their ideas may be different, but they must work to agree on what's best for the people. Diplomatic Channel untangles the discussions to bring